morning, 47. The Ark Society's annual gathering is several weeks away, which should give us ample time to prepare. Meanwhile, Mr. Gray has an off-the-books request. Perhaps you should explain.
Noel Crest. One of my best fixes. Before Romania, I left him in charge of the militia. Told him in no uncertain terms to cease all attacks on Providence, stand by and await further orders. Safe to say he did not. Crest and his men have gone rogue, reinventing themselves as a glorified gang of international thieves. They specialize in ruthless spectacle heists with zero regard to collateral damage.
I've seen the man's file. What did you expect would happen?
It's not like I had much choice, seeing as all my best lieutenants were killed by you two.
Fair point.
Nevertheless, Crest is a rabid dog. He is my responsibility, my mistake. I would like your help correcting it.
Current whereabouts?
Ambrose Island, an isolated harbor north from the Strait of Malacca. Coincidentally, one of Wazir Kale's old ports of call. According to my intel, Crest and his men have joined forces with a local pirate syndicate to raid a passing tanker. His goal, a control unit for an Ether Corp satellite being covertly shipped abroad. The satellite is a node in the company's most secure cloud storage network, so they would pay a fortune to preserve its integrity.
What is Crest's endgame?
Extortion, if I had to guess. We don't have the luxury of a full investigation. For us to move against the constant, we need Providence to think the threat is over and lower their guard. Another militia attack on Ether would raise alarms.
I agree. 47. You'll need to eliminate Crest and destroy that control unit, or lock the militia out. The satellite cannot fall into their hands. We'll need a cover story for ICA. Luckily, Akka, the rapacious leader of the syndicate, already has an active ICA contract on her head. Take her out, and we'll even get our expenses paid.
Well, I never had you pegged as a rebel.
I'm warming to it.
Thank you, both. 47, seeing as I know Crest, I'll provide field support. Meet you out east.
And welcome everyone to another Roulette Rivals 16 semifinals between Dein and Hashashin47. Joining me on the cast today is In4Fun. Welcome.
Hello, Corey. How's it going, everyone?
Hope everyone is well. We will start our cast off shortly with a look at the brackets, as this is one of our two semifinals, both happening today. The other one, Scruffy versus Joker J, happening in about 2 hours, I believe. And yeah, I guess we want to have a quick look at how these two players, Nomos and not In4Fun, but Hashashin47, played throughout the knockout stage. I already spoiled one of the matchups. In4Fun and Nomos did face off in an incredibly close match in the quarterfinals, even though the score shows a 2-8. That match was certainly much closer, at least from a viewing perspective. I think you can maybe tell a different story about it, but at least from a caster standpoint, that was certainly a very, very close match.
Yeah, I'm holding you at gunpoint here, I think, because it was a very spectacular performance by Dein in the quarterfinals. And yeah, we've made it to the semis. Just 3 matches to crown a champion. Of course, the 4th one possible with the 3rd place playoff. But really excited for this one. Really difficult to tell, and I think this, of course, people have or may have their preference of which semi they prefer, if for some reason. But I think this one has the chance to be something special because Dein, of course, they're hoping to return to the final after RR12. don't want to steal the spotlight that I think you will shed some light on later. But since R12, he had had, I think, consistent top 10 results, but never like a top 3 or a finals. So Dein is just one match away from doing that. But Hash himself is already through his best tournament by far. Basically a changed man from his 2023 encounters. And top 8 for the first time, top 4 for the first time, and today with a win, he hopes to be, I think, the 28th player to make a Roulette Rivals Grand Final.
Some great statistics for sure. Yeah. Well said so far. This is definitely going to be an interesting match. As I said, high stakes for both players. Dein has been in this situation before. As you mentioned, he managed to get top 2 in his first ever tournament. His debut all the way back in Roulette Rivals 12. Hashashin outperforming his best placement by a mile already and can make it an even higher ceiling now. Both of these players, as we can see, the brackets have already faced numerous opponents. Just quickly going to go through. I already mentioned Nomos beat In4Fun in the quarterfinals and started his bracket runoff with a win against Quatility and with an 8-6 win. Very, very close one as well. And Hashashin had to first beat Luke.png in another 8-6 match and then Crescent in the quarterfinals. Now they'll face for the second time in the semifinals, as both Dein Nomos and Hashashin47 have already faced once in the Swiss stage of this tournament. I believe it was a round. Can't remember exactly.
Round 3 it was,
yes.
It went down to the wire with that Marrakesh. Looked like it took 10 minutes. I don't remember the spin actually, but Dein just barely pulled through. Big rematch for Hashashin. Before going, I guess, to the match scene, and we will focus on the maps and the interview questions that you prepared. One last thing that is actually going to be another thing I steal from a different caster is that this half of the bracket is entirely defined by decider map wins. And if just one map would go the other way in a couple other places, then we would have an entirely different second half of the bracket. First, Hashashin defeated Fenium in the Swiss stage round 5 in a decider, which essentially made it possible that he's actually through with a 6th seed even. And you can see that both Dein beat Quatility 8-6, and Hashashin is coming from 2 consecutive map 7 matches. So I think they will be very much primed to take on the pressure, but this is still their biggest match in a long, long time.
For sure. Let us quickly get ready. We can see Nomos already live. Hashashin, I'm sure, is live as well. Let's give that a quick refresh. We will be heading to Ambrose Island first, which was Dein Nomos' first map pick. And we can already see some very, very crazy statistics here. Dein Nomos 10-3-0. Didn't lose a lot. Actually, only his 6th best map in terms of win rate, but one of the maps he's played the most, and his 2nd most picked map in total. On the other side, Hashashin's performance 4-0. Not bad, not great either though. But also this map was a lot picked by Hashashin as well. So it's certainly a map both of these probably feel comfortable on.
Yes, 2nd most map picked for both of them. And we will get started here. Sorry to interrupt you. Just wanted to say this parallel, and I will also steal the first spin because I think you always give it to me. We have, for the first semi-final in R16, Noah Crest Silence SMG as a cook and Siniak Venton Folly Knife in the suit.
Do have exactly that indeed. We can also see it really quickly. Predictions are showing an almost 50-50 from the Twitch chat. 54.4% for Dein Nomos and 45% to Hashashin. So it's going to be a really close first map, I believe, as well. Both players started in the central square, and Hashashin with the first restart got spotted seekering Noel Crest.
Yeah, very small rip there, but could be significant. I think we are going to talk about the Ambrose pick after the Ambrose map, but kind of
Yes.
as in the chat mentioned, kind of strange to see Dein pick it as a more methodical player, because Ambrose itself could be more straightforward. But you know, little things like this, Dein didn't hesitate to load in Hash. I think with just the stream delay, but was also a quick planner, but already an in-game time advantage for Dein, and he could already carry it through to the finish.
Yeah, I mean, both players showing great starts here. Apart from that early rip by Hashashin there, picking up Cook disguises, or first of all getting no sick, picking up the Cook disguise, basically the free one that's on the map, and setting up bomb delivery. Now Dein slight advantage with setting up his Noel kill right here. Noel does carry the silence SMG needed for this spin, so no need to bring that one in.
Very curious to see the differences in approach. Hopefully, Hash keeps green during these not so risky KOs, but certainly a bit more tricky than Dane's, who I think will also just throw in KO. I definitely prefer the approach where you have the two-handed item in your hand and you know, finish the KO in the bushes. But actually, with all of this, Hash will be the first one to get the kill down, only barely though. In-game time advantage still on Dane's hand, which I think will force the second half of the spin though.
Yeah, indeed, it's insanely close. Even though Hashashin did have the one restart, they are getting, or they did get that kill at exactly the same time. Both now switched back to the suit. Folding knife, I am not sure where that is on the map actually, but
There are two of the folding knives on the map. Well, I am sure about one, and this is where Dein is going to. It will be, of course, when you go to Shine Start, and it's in the employment letter for the
yes,
for the hippie, and I think that's the one that players will always go through. Maybe
it
if you
is.
reach a different meta with the not bomb delivery, but destroying the satellite in the caves, then that would be the other one. But that's too big of a detour, and Dein keeps his lead.
Right. Named it indeed. A little bit of smarter pathing here, I suppose. Dein and Hashashin, of course, both now got the falling knife you mentioned. I believe Hashashin has already made Akka sick.
Yes,
Something
and also
that
made
Dein did not.
such a huge difference approach there, because Dein went all the way around. He didn't want to triple shot anyone, and yeah, you can see Hash already making it to the Akka kill, and I don't see the pirate back already, but there's a second gun, so I'm gonna just quickly outspeed Dein here. Very crucial moment for his first map.
Yeah, this is very crucial indeed. Hashashin going a bit quicker, maybe a bit riskier, but so far it's paying off. Got the Akka kill just fine. There's the detonation, satellite destroyed, and it's just grabbing the keys and getting out at the boat right here. And that's first exit, 4 minutes, 3 seconds. And Hashashin could be the one to take this map, as Dein also gets spotted. Target lockdown. I'm not sure if the guard saw it or if it was just red.
He was
guns from
orange.
Akka. Oh, he was orange. Okay, then that's restart for Dein and the map win for Hashashin. Very likely there we have it. 2-0. Hashashin taking the lead. Very, very important one on this first map.
Very interesting to see the second half of the spin from Dein. Of course, this is his map pick, and I guess he just wasn't really trusting the fact that he could make Akka sick at a good time. I think so. Hash had a very good in-game time there, and could make her sick as she was leaving the compound. And I know that Dein had like a 30-second high in-game time, but I think the play would still be to just emetic Akka, go for the folding knife and triple shot your way back. Essentially what Hash did, which is so impressive, because even with a restart, Hash could basically win by more than a photo finish margin, because Dein was only going to get her at the Smith hut.
Indeed. So yeah, first map, which was picked by Dein, going to Hashashin. We did ask Dein earlier about his reasoning behind, his map picks and just the match in general. For Ambrose, basically just said, or in general, he said his opponent's strategy is to pick one map that he likes and one map that's weaker, or one of the weaker maps of his opponent. Ambrose was his map pick, which is one of his favorite maps, according to him. And Colorado, Dain's second map pick, which we're going to play after this map, is, according to the statistics at the least, one of Hashashin's weaker maps. But to get to Colorado, we first have to get through Isle of Sgàil, which is
it's interesting to see.
Second map.
Sorry about that. Was such a straightforward pick by Hashashin. The 18th and the 19th best map by Dein, picked as the first and the second map. Of course, the semifinals also feature already 4 of your picks gone and two of your bans gone. So it's not like, you could pick all of your perfect options. But I think Hash is very happy with these 3 options, especially Mendoza. Dein being the Mendoza, not just specialist, but probably one of the best players, one of the most consistent players in Mendoza, of course. So nice to have that one out of the way. But it looks like Hash will aim to be a Season 2 enthusiast, already winning Ambrose, which turned into a Season 2 map a couple of months ago, and picking 2 of his own here.
Still a Season 3 map in my mind. But yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Mendoza, that was the ban from Hashashin, which he also banned against him against Dein in the Swiss stage, as he just mentioned before. Nomos banned Dubai in response to Hashashin's recent Dubai performance, where he didn't want to go up against a super quick speedrunner. So those bans made perfect sense from these players, I think. And yeah, 2 less maps in the RNG pool for sure.
Well, I know that Hash just wanted to play some of the RNG maps so that the match isn't so short. Well, he's guaranteed, even by losing 3 maps, he's guaranteed 1 random map, but he could always, of course, be on course of an 8-0 but here's the second spin curry.
Needed is Zoe Washington drowning as an initiate and Sophia Washington fall as a chef. 2 accidents. If it would be reversed, that would be a really good spin, I would say. But at least according to Twitch chat, Hashashin has the advantage on this, even though Dein is gonna be the first to load in.
See, I'm not sure which you mean reversing, because I do not want to see drowning with any combination. Maybe even chef would be the one good option, since it's an anxious fasting disguise on Sophia's floor.
Disregarding the disguises maybe, but the methods, I guess, would be at least in my mind, I would more put him on the other target.
Fair enough. Zoe drowning trespassing disguise, it's one of the few spins where you will, I guess, you will be forced to do MOC. Not 100% forced, but I think that's the most reasonable option to do here. And Sophia fall at any time you like. Hash is opting for the early isolation. Of course, no double phone, because there's no reason for the second half of the phone, with Zoe being a live kill. But Dein will be approaching this. I think this is going to be the clock timing, or radio, as some like to say. It's a 2-minute mark. But Dein is getting, I guess, closer to securing this one. I'm not sure why the SMG, but he basically just has some time to kill, so no worries on Dein's end.
Just having an SMG is better than not having an SMG, I guess. I can't quite see that just yet either. Ooh, as we have a bit of buffering on Dein's end. Let's hope that's not a stream and or game crash. So that would be quite unfortunate. Seems like we are back.
Yeah. Very small side story. I think he had a stream crash a few seconds before our quarterfinal match spin.
Yes.
That had to be respawned, but luckily no worries there, because it didn't happen before the map. And it seems like a paused stream, but in-game time is ticking, so he's back.
Yes, it's all good. We'll just have to live with a little bit of stream delay on Dain's end, who is now getting Sophia in, I think this room might be called the radio room, or that's just because we call it like that, even though it's a clock. You're absolutely right. So that's going to be...
It's definitely only called it by us, not the game.
I would have imagined this also called it by the game for some reason. No. Dein dumping out this window. I believe that is going to alert, or not alert, but at least cause one of the guards outside to investigate.
Yep.
Yeah, see the question marks right here. But Dein in a non-trespassing disguise can just drop something and get rid of that. And both players
Now you
are going
wanna
to
wait.
Fall kill. Almost
Oh, nice
simultaneously.
awareness by Dein, because that last raider is gonna turn a bit left and right, but gets the first kill. Not super sure who would be ahead here. I think this is as close as you can get. Dein with a 15-second advantage and a very straightforward rest of the spin to go.
Indeed, and Hashashin on the other side, we were focusing on Dein so much, just got the Sophia kill all down as well. A little bit more dragging for him. Actually, not necessarily, but at a similar position now than Dein was a couple seconds ago, and acquiring the Raider now, possibly to get to the MOC area easier.
Not how you would expect this one, right? Dein is the one who takes the trespass in disguise and
That is
just be
true.
quicker, and Hash is the safer one through, I guess, burning one of the Tranks. One of the true Tranks, I think he still has one for that Raider disguise, but yeah, looks like Dain's advantage is growing, but he's in a trespass in disguise, gonna be tricky to get around.
I actually don't even know where the nearest initiate is. It's been a while since I've seen and or
Just
played.
this single one that you will
All
see.
right, I remember it now, and seeing Dein do that thrown distraction. So yeah, I would guess slight advantage to Dein here, already set up or cleared out the MOC room, I believe. It is now grabbing the initiate needed for that kill, while Hashashin is still cleaning up bodies.
Now I don't think this is what Dein wanted. He wanted to get the push pacify for the accident KO. Ended up just KOing him with the range. I think that corner is safe enough, but this one I couldn't really comment on. So hopefully it's gonna be fine for Dein. And yeah, because we still don't see Hash in the trespass in the initial disguise, which is also trespassing. I think this is not only a Dein lead, but also getting outside photo finish range.
For sure. We did see a short body found right there, but luckily that is someone else. I don't quite know who that is actually. Oh, that is
Sophia's.
Sophia's body. Yeah, that's why. I was wondering, but of course, that target's already killed with an accident.
Not sure by whom though. It could only be the constant, but Dein is nowhere near.
Who knows? Hashashin did the same thrown KO on the initiate that Dein did, so assuming no unique copy moments of Hitman, which may very well happen, this is either going to be safe for both players or a rip for both players sooner or later. But yeah, Hashashin struggling to find his MOC disguise. Finally has it now, and both have triggered the MOC lure, and Sophia...
Yeah.
No, not Sophia. Zoe is approaching.
Yeah, the second half of the spin is so straightforward. I don't see a lot of ways for anyone to catch up. Of course, there are ways to lose your essay, but even those are limited. Then he's going to drop the Durian on her. And once he finds the initiate back, he should be very clear to get this drowning kill going, wherever that is. Then actually, I think, taking a slight risk there by letting this body get KO'd. Hopefully, the elite guard won't return to this room in the next 15 seconds, but would have been fine regardless. And actually, the earlier seeker, but still really far away from that drowning kill.
Absolutely. Learned something new today. I didn't even know that there was a drowning spot right there on Sgàil, but we see Dein out first, finished a press coming in. It's according to the stream delay we had of buffering earlier. So the photo finish is ticking. Hashashin getting the kill now. It's going to be out in a couple of seconds as well, but it's going to be a long photo finish, if at all. So I would certainly think this is going to be a Dein win.
Yeah, looks like we are on 2-2, technically in the photo finish range.
28 seconds or something.
But it will be waived very shortly after Reaper 47 our match admin posts the results. Well, the preliminary results, I guess, since it's first try versus first try.
Indeed. But yeah, very, very clean first tries from both players. Giving the tying tying up the match 2-2 here most likely. I don't see this going any other way really.
Yeah, it's early days, 2 maps and 2 straightforward spins, but the only rip we had is Hashashin's first try on Ambrose, and he ripped 5 seconds in because he got combat with the Seeker. Otherwise, it's been very clean from both players so far. I imagine they're nervous, but it's not showing so far.
Absolutely. And I mean, 2-2 after 2 maps, at least from our perspective, I think that's the best we can hope for. It's looking to be a very close match for sure. And there we have it, confirmation. Dein winning Isle of Sgàil. Neither player were super confident in their success before this match. We did ask them about that both shortly, and Dein basically in short just saying tries to never overthink the outcomes of his match, and basically says he has a 50-50 chance of winning this one and advancing to the grand finals. Hashashin, similar, impossible to expect anything against a player like Dein, and the main goal is to have fun, which is an I'm gonna say interesting perspective, seeing as you're guaranteed top 5 in a tournament, your semifinals, you could have like the ambition to now go ahead and win it all, and I'm sure that's gonna be there at some level. But so far, Hashashin just here to have a blast.
I think Hash is the most interesting player in the final 4, if not the final 8. I just love his story, since I don't remember if he finished 5th all 3 times, but I remember finishing him 5th twice in RWC group stages. He was always so close to making it to the big stage, and was always feeling like he was needing some extra that he was missing. Of course, he took a break from, I think, Hitman at all. I don't remember how much he was maybe speedrunning or playing Freelancer, but made a surprise to us, but surprise, maybe not so surprising return for him to play in R16. And I remember all the way from his practice streams from early February, he looked sharp. It wasn't like he just returned playing Hitman on February 1st. I think he put some lot of time into this with a new perspective, and it's paying dividends so far. Love to see.
For sure. But now he might have to face his arch nemesis in this next map, Colorado. And if we look at the stats for both of these players, it's basically night and day here. Yeah, on the one side, we have Dein Nomos, 8-0-0, 100% win rate. I believe his only map with 100% win rate, if I'm not entirely mistaken.
That's correct.
And on the other side, though, Hashashin47, 1-7-0. Only win against In4Fun back in RWC 2021. Maybe he can make it to a quickly refresh their streams as the spin is arriving. What have you got for Colorado?
Dein has picked 1 map for fun and 1 map against his opponent. You can guess which is which, but here's Colorado, Shanro, Screwdriver in the suit, Penelope Graves, Explosion Accident as Militia Elite, Ezraberg Fire as Hacker, and Maya Pravati next map as Militia Spec Ops. First time this match where someone didn't start loading in before I finished, or one of us finished reading the spin, but it was kind of close because Dein is already Vesbridge starting.
Indeed. Got some fire in the spin, and a couple tournaments ago, this would have been quite a difficult one. Ezra Fire, I think it's even banned at some point. But now with the oil canister, that is getting a lot easier, and I believe both of these players are going to be smuggling in that just to make sure to get that kill easier.
Ezra Fire is one of the kills which I wouldn't have even minded without the canister. Of course, it needs some extra setup, and usually like to do the phone, as people in chat say, or just the snail itself. Oh, as Hash gets... he wanted to press Q on Ezra, press Q on the Elite Guard, so will be another quick restart. But, exact same thing happened in Ambrose, and he ended up outpacing Dein, so maybe not so bad news so far. With Dein reaching 1 minute, and Ezra down, and Penelope down, and off to the races after Vesbridge.
Indeed. Also, no live kills in this spin, which I think makes this a lot easier already. All these kills can just be done in a KO'd stayed even the next snap on Amaya, not really an issue. And also no Scarecrow, that's the name of the disguise in there. Just the suit as a trespassing disguise on Sean, which can be a bit troublesome as we see Nomos in, I believe that is his suit, trying to stay hidden among these fields and making it to the shed where you usually isolate Ezra.
Yeah, I had one question about this spin, and it was answered while you were talking, is if someone will bring the suit to Sean, I'm pretty sure it's the right call, it's the riskier call, but it should end up giving a better in-game time, because, of course, what is the alternative? If you kill Sean in the main house at 6 minutes, you exit 6:20, 6:30, but Dein has chosen this peekaboo method, and the kill in the technician's shed for Sean, and you are just hoping to get all the other kills, including fire and explosion accident before the 6-minute mark for a marginal win. But marginal win is what you need in the semifinals.
For sure. I mean, yeah, bringing the suit over here also allowed him to get this peekaboo in the first place. I'm not sure who is actually, if there's any disguise that is actually trespassing inside this shed where he's just isolated Maya.
Nope, he's fine here. And there's the peekaboo that everyone was asking from Dein. It's going to be a very smooth isolation spot.
Very nicely done. And those bushes should conceal Sean's body very nicely.
Yeah, it's a bit of a black magic to me, but apparently that exact spot is as close to 100% as it gets. I haven't seen it being found, and the streak continues. I didn't jinx it.
Very nicely done. So yeah, Dein, all the buddies down, just needs to grab disguises, weapons, and kill methods to get his 4 required kills. In the meantime, Hashashin finally loaded back in, or has already loaded back in for 2.5 minutes now. But has a run going. That's much better what I wanted to say. Grabbing malicious back off. I believe Hashashin has left his suit in the house, if I'm not entirely mistaken. And Amaya is already on her way back from the first cycle, but this is not over from Hashashin, as we see another version of the audio lure or chain lure for Maya.
I'm not sure if you would call it improvising or if it's a contingency plan. I don't personally like this one. I've seen it fail a lot more times than Sean Peekaboo, but if Hash can, with the help of the bullet distractions, still green, stays green, and hopefully it will remain green for the rest of the spin. Nice catch up by Hash, who is the first one to get to 2 kills. But otherwise, it's really difficult to say who's ahead, because Dein has made so much progress and is basically has the 3 other targets KO'd already.
Indeed, and already has Sean killed. I did actually, I think I missed the kill on him. But, yeah, in the malicious backups, this guy's just going to run over to his KO'd Maya body and is going to quickly equal up the 2 kills, as Hashashin just got Sean in the shed and will have to, I believe he'll have to bring his suit over there at a later point.
I was surprised to see that approach. Yeah, it's going to be a bit back and forth, and I think Hash himself is hesitating. He has the problem, which is good. He needs Militia Elite, which he will get from the main house. Otherwise, it's only the Screwdriver, which I guess he was hesitating between the Maya spot and ultimately remember the Orchard, which is a smaller detour. So Hash is, as I was mentioning in the first idea, is like little less than 2 minutes away from finishing, although Penelope last will be certainly a sight to behold. But for Dein, there's some stoppage which I did miss. I think there are some Penelope guards chilling in the garden already.
Very, very possible. Dein basically just needs a hacker disguise. Hacker required for the Ezra kill, and then a Militia Elite is pretty much around the corner for the Penelope kill. I'm not sure if Dein has a propane or something similar nearby.
on instinct, so we will be fine. I don't know if we'll be seen once again. I think this map is about chaos in bushes, which I don't know if they will work, but so far it's 3 for 3. We don't want to see any rips here. And Dein has everything he needs for, I guess, both of the remaining 2 kills, because there's the propane, a gas canister in the basement, and the 2 disguises next to each other to end this run.
Yeah, Dein is almost seconds away from finishing at this point. Hashashin currently, I'm imagining this is his suit, as I can't remember any Colorado disguise looking like that.
When in doubt, just call it the suit.
Exactly. Approaching the Sean kill. So even with the early restart from Hashashin and the in-game time advantage to Dein, this could end up being a really, really close kill, as Hashashin has a detonator in hand, so I'm imagining he's already set up the Penelope kill.
Yep, looks like just need to become the militia elite for it to be a successful run. And I don't remember for Dein if he used any item, although he was dragging Penelope around, and looks like there's the detonator in hand. It's not even going to be a photo finish, it's going to be a close one at that. But Hash needs to take a big detour for the final disguise. It looks like it's going to be a Dein lead again, which I did not expect from the last 30 seconds, but 8:04 for Dein, and looks like 4-5. How long will it be for Hash? I think it's
like
going to be first try
seconds.
versus second try. But a 10-second photo finish window to end Colorado.
And this could be potentially close. We have seen 2 loads from Hashashin, a single load from Dein. But Hashashin needs to catch up at least 8 seconds to make this a draw, and I think catch up by 14 seconds. No, 12 seconds, sorry, to make it a win in his favor. Players are now aware of the photo finish. I actually doubt that we're gonna see a wave here, even though if it's gonna be an unlikely.
No reason for it. I have very recent experience filling photo finishes against Dein. His Hokkaido was 2 seconds, like 1.7 slower than mine, faster than mine, sorry. So I guess his PC is on the higher end. I don't remember Hash though and his PC. Oh yeah, that was you and only you, and did the double checking, and yeah.
But yeah, so far, at least currently, it's certainly looking like a Dein 4-2 lead coming to map 3. Dein even saying he's missed the done button while trying to press it. That certainly can happen, and especially when you're a bit nervous, shaking about these high-stake matches. The done button sometimes isn't the easiest one to actually hit, even though it is quite large at this point. But yeah, for the finish will be counted, and we will have a result in a couple of minutes.
If this were a photo finish, the tie, it would be the first one in the knockout stage. I was hoping to see like one anywhere beforehand to spice up the results, but we've only had map wins since the start of the final 16, so only 8-0s, 8-2s, 8-4s, and 8-6s. So this would be a unique result no matter what if this Colorado ends in a tie.
That is true. You almost made it. Was less than a second away from it.
You would have needed a better admin. I cannot believe my guy.
I tried it. I tried it twice, but sadly 2 out of 2 times it wasn't enough. But yeah, maybe this time can be the first. But either way, no matter the result of this Colorado, we will be going to, as Hashashin is already showing and it's already visible on the overlay as well, Haven Island next. I'm personally very happy about that. But can already spoil the statistics a little bit. Haven Island is Hashashin's most picked and most played map. So he certainly has the experience on it, at the very least. In the meantime, Nomos is his worst map, win rate wise, is Haven Island, I believe. But still has the experience on it, played it a lot. We'll get the exact numbers in a second, as we do have an exact result just now. Do you want to go ahead and read it out for fun?
Yeah, short thing there. 5.5 seconds for Hash, the 2 loading times altogether, which does seem realistic. Just checking back one load, it was a little over 2 seconds. But because Dein was leading by 10, Reaper didn't even need to calculate his loading time because he was always winning by 4.5 seconds or more. So 4-2, Dein on his second map win in a row, but we are going to Haven Island. Hashashin's second map pick.
Indeed. And yeah, there we have the numbers. As I mentioned, 780 on Dain's end. Sadly, I often say it's quite impressive when your worst map win rate rise is a 780 with a just slightly below 50% win rate. But at least in terms of win rate, still his worst. Hashashin 790, almost pretty similar. And yeah, most played for Hashashin, second most played for Dein Nomos, so they certainly have the experience on it. Personal bests also looking pretty similar, a minute between them. On Haven, that's okay, I would say. I mean, at this level, a minute is a lot, but in general, on a longer map like Haven, a minute is surely just dependent on the spin, and some spins you just can't do quicker than others.
I think Dein was 6-8 the last time I checked. Not sure what happened since then. But on a serious note, this is one of the maps where they did face each other in the Swiss stage, and that was map number 1 of round 3. Was a Hashashin win, and a lot of back and forth later mismatch, including a Colorado win by Dein, same as today. Ended, of course, in a 6-4 to Dein. But I think we were talking about how Sgàil and Haven were two of the most, the last in terms of win rate for Dein, but I'm sure the recent experience also played a part. Hash won Haven and Miami against him in the Swiss stage. Don't remember if Hash had picked Miami, but I think makes a lot of sense if you want to pick maps where you feel comfortable on, especially the recent win.
I believe, yes, Hashashin had already picked Miami in his quarterfinal against Crescent, so that map pick wasn't available anymore, and as you said, the other map he won in that earlier match against Dein was Haven, so it makes a lot of sense here to pick that again and hopefully increase his win rate even further with that. And if Hashashin wins this again, we are at a 4-4 score, perfectly tied going into random maps, which I believe from our end at least is pretty much the best we can hope for.
Yeah, always what you like to see. I don't even know the RNG maps. I'll study it just a bit in any sort of a downtime during this Haven spin, of which I don't hope we will have a lot of. Query number 4 for you.
I already see a lot of red boxes though. We have Silenced Pistol Snorkel Instructor, no target pacification for Tyson Williams, Stephen Bradley Sniper Rifle as a resort staff, and Lidmilovic Rova, also no target pacification, Barber Razor as a bodyguard. Interesting spin for sure.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of live Tyson spins which encourage you to try out different stuff. The one that you hear a lot lately is Tyson Rush, which means basically killing him first. But Snorkel Instructor, I'm not fully comfortable if you would have any sort of a good time making happen. So Tyson Last would be my choice here. So same old boring Villa staff start. And Dein doesn't go for a free disguise in the secret office, but instead lures the bodyguard down. But with the banana in hand, or on the ground rather, he will secure his first disguise. Probably get the Barber Razor from the jacuzzi room, and I guess head to the 2, roaming targets. We'll see how Hash is going to handle this, but after a quick replan, he goes for the lockpick instead of the crowbar. Oh, which is fair. I think he's going secret office, just wanted a safer option.
Quite possibly. But yeah, obviously, in Dein Nomos, and usually you'd see with a Villa staff, you just see a cinema rush for Tyson, getting him KO'd there, but for this one, it's sadly not possible. So, yeah, just Dein grabbing the disguise as quickly as possible and trying to exit the villa as quickly as possible. Hashashin going for the a bit longer run, as we mentioned, much likely. Seems to be heading for the secret office to grab the second bodyguard disguise on the map. In terms of kills, I would guess no KO for Ludmilla, not the biggest of issues. And Steven kill should also be pretty doable, but that Tyson is going to be the make or break in this spin, I would say.
Yeah, and luckily Hash is stopping at the right time, but I couldn't quite see if he has a breaching charge. Probably doesn't fully matter. It will be second cycle Tyson. There are a lot of ways to manage it. I'm more certain that Dein has a breaching charge, but once again, it's for, I guess, 4 minutes later. For now, it will be on Dein to grab Resort Star Disguise, which is not this one, but the other one, but in the meantime, he's setting up the room for it.
Indeed, and Hashashin just got a target lockdown on Tyson Williams. He missed his first shot on the camera in the secret office, which apparently turned into target lockdown for Tyson. That's going to delay him, which I'm not sure if that benefits Hashashin or not.
It will change his plans, and I don't think anyone knows better, because not even sure when Hash will return to the office. Could be 5 minutes, could be 7, could be anything in between.
Yeah. So far, I would argue Dein currently looks more promising. We did yet again see another early Hashashin restart, even though this time it was on his own accord, a replan, not something that went wrong for him on map, but so far he's been able to come back very, very strongly, even with these early restarts. Sustain the map already a bit longer, got the resort staff, and is gonna go for Steven soon, or not really soon, but actually right away, with a durian throw into the what is that even called? The hut where he talks to the snorkel instructor.
Yeah. This is gonna be tough though. 3 NPCs are emetic, and I don't know what's the best option. I think if I were Dein, I would really quickly try to KO at least the snorkel instructor, so hopefully Steven reroutes. But in my experience, you can have, and that's especially for the personal trainer, you can have him stuck on the staircase if you free up one of the emetic slots. So I'm hoping for Dein. This could be a big trouble for him, but if not, then he definitely still has a huge lead.
Indeed, has both sickness spots available for Dein and more precisely for Steven again. But it does not seem like he's rerouting. He is fully going to that bathroom inside one of the huts, whose name I forgot.
I think it's the Mentor hut. It's just simply empty. It doesn't have the doctor or Portman or 47 in it.
Indeed, which, I mean, it's doable in here, as we can see. Dein just shooting Tyson in his back and dumping him quickly, but a lot of open windows around here, which can get you spotted from the weirdest of angles, but Dein manages to do it nicely, and so does Hashashin, who also grabbed the kill while we were focusing on Dain's troubles.
Yeah, Dein used just one emetic item, namely the durian, to make multiple people sick, which means that he still has 2 darts, but for only 1 NPC, and Ludmilla will have to be emetic with the Seeker. I don't think that's a huge problem, and Dein does right by prioritizing the emetic. She takes like 45 seconds to get to the puking spot and 60 seconds for the sickness. So he has plenty of time to get the bodyguard disguise from below the gym.
Indeed. Once again, it does look like Hashashin has caught up nicely, despite later in-game time. Picking up,
that was
up a Barbarizer from all the way back here. Sorry, Dein picked the one from the mansion, I believe.
Yeah, I did miss one thing. Sorry, did Hash make the early Ludmilla emetic timing, like before going up the stairs?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, it's very nice for his spin for sure, although he is going up
Yeah, I think his
for, of course,
bodyguard
the
is...
resort staff.
Or is it
Or
resort staff? No, the
that's already the
bodyguard.
bodyguard, you're right.
Yeah. We are correct about that. So both players in the bodyguard disguise now, and actually now Dein might be retaking the lead here. And but I think on this map for sure it all comes down to where and how they are gonna get Tyson. Dein got both of the other kills now, can fully focus on getting Snorkel Instructor, which he already KO'd since he emedicked all of them earlier, which might not work to his advantage.
Yeah, because I'm missing Hash doing the same. I think he was considering some sort of a bush lure. I guess we will be smarter in a few seconds, but you might as well start a second prediction here because even if Tyson wasn't messed with by Hashashin, you would still not be sure who could get the earlier timing. And there's the Snorkel Instructor in the bushes. It's all now race to the villa and try to get Tyson somehow. I think Dein will have second cycle the Miller bedroom. I think he will be late for cinema, is what I meant to say.
Yeah, it's quite a possible. We'll have to distract some NPCs on his way, but an easy throw is going to take care of that. Another one's going to take care of the cameras. But yeah, both already having the Snorkel Instructor. This is now all coming down to Tyson. I believe Tyson, for Dein at least, currently standing in the hallway, looking outside with his binoculars, and is now moving towards the bedroom of Ludmilla.
Yeah,
indeed.
Dane's Tyson just left the cinema, and Hashashin's is arriving to the jacuzzi room. It might still be cinema for Hash, but he needs to use this triple shot to get in, and maybe bullet distraction for the villa staff, which he does. And it's gonna be a moderate amount of waiting for Hash, and I couldn't tell you how long for Dein.
Indeed, but Dein does have a breacher for this screen. I did just see it in his inventory, so he's gonna lure that guard out and just blow the screen to get inside. So he will most certainly try to get Tyson in Ludmilla's bedroom, but he's already in there for quite a bit, and he also has to still take care of the bodyguard, but this could work out better for Dein than we initially thought.
Oh, that's a really not quite risky, but a huge thrown kill for Dein, but it hits no red guns. Silence pistol kill is correct. I didn't even know which firearm kill will be for Tyson, but once these bodies are left correctly, and they are, no one will be entering this room anymore, and no one looks inside. Looks like the key has been picked up by Dein, so it's a very clutch finish, and will beat Hashashin's wait for second cycle cinema.
Very, very impressively done for sure. That breacher right there, pretty much saving Dane's run, because if he had no way of getting into the cinema that quickly, I don't see how Dein would have made it to Tyson for the second cycle in the Ludmilla's bedroom. And yeah, we can see the kill on Hashashin's end now, but there is the confirmation for Dane's map win of Haven Island, and in the end it kind of came down to Hashashin but locking down Tyson like minute one of his spin by accident, or I very much assume it was by accident.
Yeah.
Which caused Tyson to be there later.
Little what ifs, but and I don't mean to like berate because they are in the semifinals and not us, but that replan for the lockpick, which I think was the only change by Hash, was not only unnecessary in a sense that you won't get caught with the crowbar, but also that same crowbar could have been used to throw at the camera without locking down Tyson. It's just the little thing snowballs so hard, and I hope that won't sit on Hash's mind for so long, but that I think had effects for the entire Haven spin later on. But Sapienza now a match point for Dein. Hash's, of course, last chance to somehow return to this match. Well, not return. I think he was always in this match, but to make it closer.
And yeah, first map point for Dein, as you just mentioned. A win for Dein in this match is gonna make him, or in this map, I always keep mixing it up. If Dein wins this map, he will also win the match and move on to the grand finals, where he'll face the winner of Scruffy versus Joker J, which is the other semifinals, starting in a bit over an hour at this point. If Hashashin manages to win Sapienza or get a tie here, we will move on to the next random map, which is likely going to have similar implications. But one step at a time, Sapienza is next, and it is not a great map from either, at least in terms of the statistics as we can see.
I take a 7-4, but less so 3-5. Sapienza, number 16 for Hash, or 4th from the bottom, with 3 wins, and definitely a couple Sapienza experiences in R16. Lost to Phanium and lost to Luke, but of course both of these matches were a win. Only change here now is he cannot lose Sapienza to stay in this match. He could still tie, which would still be the first tie of the knockout stage, especially with the more straightforward spin. It can happen. Here's spin number 5 of the first semi-final. Silvio Crusoe amputation knife as a mansion security with no target specification, and Francesca DeSantis circumcision knife as the butler. So it's, I don't think I've seen this before, but it's both of the knives from the Plague Doctor.
Yes, I would have wished Chris is in chat right now, because I'm sure Chris would be able to look it up really quickly if we've seen this combination already of both the amputation and the circumcision knife. As you mentioned, both of those are near the Plague Doctor, and they're easy to mix up.
Yeah, but at least you have both in the inventory, and I can confirm, and sorry Chris, but you're not here, so I steal your job. This has never been done before, of 400 Sapienzas in history, but the first time 524, and the first time both knives happened at the same time.
You have the exact numbers if you want them. Yeah, definitely curious how they're going to approach this.
And I'm wrong because Chris is here. Hi.
But Dein gets spotted trespassing in the mansion. I think he was working on his butler grab. Got spotted in the side room of the ground floor, and that's a restart for him. First restart from Dein in this entire match, I believe.
Yeah, that is correct. I think the first restart from, the start of his quarterfinals. It's like a 7 or 8 map streak that comes to an end. Of course, he is basically the consistency personified. But he's taking the slightly riskier approach because as nothing says that you must start in the suit to get the butler. You could also start kitchen assistant, and you are allowed in that room, as far as I know. You are missing out on 1 firearm if you want, but I mean, you can also take the small smuggle. So it's small changes here, and Dein is taking the safer approach with Hash taking a lead, who we entirely missed, but started, I think, Gardener and made Silvio sick very quickly. We can see him puking already here.
Yes, Hashashin did start Gardener indeed, and I mean this making Silvio sick and his guards by extension. Let's hope that doesn't fall down. I'm not sure if that's an issue or not. No, it isn't. I stand corrected. But Hashashin, mansion security amputation knife. That's going to be a quick first kill for him, and with an easy box right beside there. I'm not even sure if you need to box him, but that's certainly a safe option, as Dein just picked up the butler disguise and is rushing to get his kills in as well now.
So I'm really curious if I was just completely blind this entire Sappy spin. But of course, what would work here for Hash? I'm trying to see if the butler is coming here with perhaps Oscar Lafayette, because that's the only way you could bring these guys closer to Francesca. It would be not a too bad spin for it. I see some movement down there, but I think those are NPCs outside. I guess in the end it will be just the first cycle ISO from Hash, and we'll go for the butler separately, which is not as fast, but gonna be quite consistent.
Very curious indeed. Did not even remember The butler does bring Lafayette up as we see a quick drop from Hashashin, nicely done. And a quick kill from Dein, who started with the butler grab and now the Francesca kill. And of course now has the mansion security right here, so no need for any sort of detour for that isolation, or disguise rather. Now has an option for Silvio, who's just arriving to the observatory on his own cycle. So this is potentially still really, really close.
This is close, but I feel like Dane's simplicity is just so much quicker here, because even if they would be getting this second kill at the same time, then it's so much closer to the lab and exiting, and Hash will have to go all the way up. The boost is amazing down there, but going up is a different beast.
And just do it in reverse.
Yeah, exactly. Sadly, of course, not allowed. I'm not sure.
Indeed.
Such a bad idea, right? Boosting up would be better here.
But Dein getting the kill first as well as an FA pistol to just get into the lab area. I believe has an EMP in his inventory. And I think I just saw it as well. It's even gonna KO this guard to be extra safe. And there's the EMP toss, and Hashashin just got the Francesca kill. Is likely gonna make a photo finish timing here, but it's gonna be a long one at that. And Dein is already out 5 minutes and 7, so that time is ticking for Hashashin.
Yeah, it's gonna be on the line again. I don't remember which map it was. I think Sgàil was a 28-second win by Dein. We might see a very similar finish there, and Hash, not his tournament life, but his road to the final will end with actually a photo finish, though just expiring. I'm not sure. I never know which admin calls it at the 30-second mark and who calls it later. Who calls it later.
Pistol sniping.
Such a ballsy finish, but sadly to no avail. Dein 8, Hashashin 2.
Indeed, and yeah, Hashashin with the box on the guard. And now, well, he did get it in the end, as we can see right away. But his way of taking out the virus sadly took him a little bit too long, and Nomos is gonna win the match 8-4-2. Very, very nicely done. And yeah, as you said, Hashashin technically not out of the tournament just yet, as I believe there is a third place playoff planned between now Hashashin and the loser of the other semifinal that is happening in just over an hour. Let's actually quickly have one look at the brackets to celebrate Dain's win a little bit more.
Just gonna say that of course these matches usually end with interviews, and I think you once again asked Dein. Dein once again declined. It's his choice, and we love him the same for the shy guy that he is. But very well done to him, and especially congrats to Hash on a very amazing return tournament with a third or fourth place that will be determined in the next few days. But yeah, Dein will be playing in his first final. I'll let you wrap it up. Sorry, but
I mean, technically it's the second final, right? I believe, because Dein got second place all the way in Ruler Travels 12, which means he must have reached the grand final at that point as well, where he lost to Scruffy. This could be a repeating story in this tournament, as Scruffy is a potential opponent, maybe even the favorite in the other semi-final in an hour. You were absolutely right. I technically didn't even ask Dein, because I know he's not the type for interviews, but I did ask him real quickly, just first thoughts about the match. And his first response was just, let's go! And then afterwards, he said after Ambrose, he felt a little bit down, but luckily was able to come back after that sappy red rip. I thought he would lose the map already, but Hashashin, a great opponent, and it feels amazing that he's in a grand final again. And yeah, can surely be happy and proud of himself of achieving that. It's certainly not an easy feat, this match, and I have lots and lots of close maps all together. But yeah, any last words about this semifinal?
Me?
Yes,
Oh,
you.
well,
Sorry.
Well, then I'll try. I'm just looking at the refreshed page of Dein, who now has a 78% win rate. I think he has had such an interesting 24. He's been so under the radar, but with I guess 4 top 10 finishes, always making it far in and winning all those matches, and especially in this tough and unpredictable single elimination bracket, he proves to be, well, either once again or still one of the greatest of roulette. And I'm really curious to see him in the final against Scrappy or Joker J. I'll leave the predictions to the other crew, and that will be a spectacle itself. Of course, the return of last year's match of the year. Hopefully, it will deliver the same. And yeah, very much looking forward to match in just a little over 1 hour. And just once again, amazing run by Hash. I think one of the most exciting players in a long time. Was amazing to root for him in both the Swiss stage as he was taking his challenges and having to win his last 2 rounds to even advance with 4.5 points, because you wouldn't with 3.5. And these map 7 victories against Luke and Crescent, I think will cement him as, no matter the result, the player of Roulette Rival 16.
For sure. As mentioned, we mentioned plenty of times now, the other semifinal, Scruffy versus Joker J, is going to happen in a little bit over an hour at 21 o'clock Central European summertime. Not summertime yet, but Central European time, whatever. That match will be casted by the wonderful Afro and that observer over on Afro's channel. But yeah, very well said from your end. And I think at this point, all we have left to say is to thank you all very, very much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the cast. Thank you to the 2 players for playing. Congratulations to Dein Nomos for winning this one. And best of luck to Dein Nomos for the grand final. And also Hashashin for the 3rd place face-off. Thanks to the wonderful Reaper47 for adminning this match for us. And thanks to In4Fun for co-casting this one with me.
Thank you. Always a great pleasure.
Very, very much so. And yeah, thanks all of you for watching. We hope to see you soon in another Roulette Rivals cast. Thank you and goodbye.